Welcome back. Happy Saturday morning. Let's go through the news. Got some good articles for you. Today, Alawi meets with 170 deputies to present the names of the ministers and his government program. Member of Parliament said on Saturday the intention Prime Minister to present the names of the ministers in the expanded meeting this evening. The meeting will discuss Alawi's options in the next ministry, and now he will be supported by the assembled representatives in the event of the conviction of the ministers chosen by Alawi. The session of granting confidence will be difficult if the representatives meeting with Alawi are not convinced of his choice in the members of his cabinet and his next program. Remember, guys, that whole deal with the government program, that's the new economic structure after the rate change that the budget will allow to be financed from the rate change. Okay. All right. So next article. A deputy warns of blackmailing the new ministries during their support for the parliament vote. The MP of the National Bloc, Hussein, affirmed on Saturday that the differences are strong between political blocs regarding the selection of the new ministers. The dispute is great and cannot be resolved between political blocs regarding the mechanisms for the selection of new ministers and what are their details, as well as dispute to support Prime Minister designate Alawi. There's a real fear that some blackmailers will pass by some political parties under the cover of the independent technocrats, as happened in previous government, in order to support Alawi's government in Parliament. The team of the Prime Minister who chose the new ministers, is he so honest that the ministers choose a name without the knowledge of the government, which is supposed to solve the popular demands, all the reform protests? All right, next article. Iraqi politician Alawi threatened Salah and Halbusi with imprisonment if he did not stop blackmailing him. Iraqi politician and former MP revealed on Saturday the threat of Prime Minister designate Alawi, the President Barham Salah, and Parliament Speaker Al Halbusi if he did not stop blackmailing them. Watermelon said in a Facebook page, Alawi said to Halbusi, "You do not represent the Sunnis, nor do I represent the Shiites, or the righteousness represents the Kurds after today." The parties took over the ministries as contractors for 16 years in which they were wreaked corruption and are now threatening to impose the same corrupt people on Muhammad Alawi. Otherwise, they withdraw and no vote. Insistence of the political entities on blackmail and rapid gain by exploiting all the weaknesses of the political process. Next article. Deputy, the names and biographies of all the ministries will arrive in Parliament today. The Member of Parliament confirmed that the names of the cabinet of the government Alawi will arrive today, Saturday, in Parliament. Prime Minister designate Muhammad Alawi will present the ministers of his cabinet and the political blocs before voting on them. We'll review the CVs of the new cabinet ministers today before voting on them, scheduled for Monday. Next article. Sauder threatens a fair government this week or a million sit-in protest. We're not going to go through the details on that. Al-Najafi front confirms 34 Sunni representatives will vote for Alawi. Osama Najafi, the former deputy, announced on Saturday that 34 Sunni representatives will vote for the government of the Prime Minister designate Alawi, scheduled to be put forth on Monday for vote. The members of the Salvation Development Front with 34 deputies will vote to pass the government of Prime Minister designate Alawi, whether he fulfills our 6 conditions from 0 or our deputies will be positive opponents under the Parliament dome. Next article. A Sunni leader to choose Parliament only by voting for Alawi's government. The alternative is miserable. The 2020 budget in the context of the new financial management law. Okay. And guys, that article is from today, the 22nd. The Iraqi Council of Representatives enacted the end of May last year the Federal Financial Management Law of 2019, which was published in the Iraqi Al Waqi newspaper on August of 2019. Despite the positive aspects of the law, the observations were many and were noted in our article Decree the New Financial Management Law, what it is, what it has, and what it is. And with the entry of the new year, given the legal period for approving the federal budget has passed in accordance with the Financial Management Law, which stipulated that the government submitted the federal budget project to the House of Representatives no later than mid-October of each year. And guys, I want to expand on that because right there they just confirmed something what I've told you. Remember here, it says right here, the House of Representatives submitted the budget no later than mid-October of each year. Didn't I tell you for the 11 years I've been in this, they've always at least by December, they've always submitted the budgets to the House of Representatives or to Parliament at least by December. Okay, so right there, and they have not even submitted the budget yet. So think about that carefully. That they're telling you right there that the budget is waiting on the rate change. Okay, back to the article. Here it must be recalled what was included in Article 13, which requires the adoption of the final financial statements of the previous year, mainly for the financial statements for the year in which the federal public budget is not recognized, either because they were not sent to the House of Representatives or because the council did not vote on them. And here a number of observations were monitored regarding this article when evaluating the Financial Management Law of 2019, perhaps the most notable. Paragraphs should be put in place to ensure the approval of the general budget without procrastination and delay, due to its association with interests of the citizen, not to open loopholes that allow the government to delay the transmission of the budget to the House of Representatives, deliberately delaying its approval for narrow political interests, especially since the political situation in the country may affect the mood of Parliament in rejecting or accepting the federal budget for reasons that may not be objective, as I disclose the experiences of previous years. Federal budget data for previous years cannot be approved as a basis for a new budget under any considerations, given the privacy of public expenditures revenues in Iraq, given that the Iraqi federal budget is exposed to oil in a large and volatile commodity, and its future trends cannot be guaranteed, especially as regional and global situation energy markets warns with worrying tracks in terms of prices and exports. Hold on, I wanted to see something on it. Okay, so right there, it looks like the fact that they said the Iraqi federal budget is exposed to oil in a large and volatile commodity, and its future trends cannot be guaranteed. What they're saying right there is that Iraq cannot be using just the budget by itself to back the budget and fund the budget. They're saying that they need other angles or other means to fund and financially back the budget. Remember, guys, you've already seen quite a few articles where they're bringing brand new taxations, such as tariff taxes and all that from imported goods. So you already know that this budget's not funded just from oil. The new financial management law indicates that the actual expenditures from the previous year are the basis for this data for the new year in the event of the federal budget is not approved, and this requires submitting the final accounts by the Office of the Financial Supervision for the previous years and approved by the House of Representatives after study and audit. And this is what, unless happen or occur as the final accounts of the 2013 budget were approved, the budgets of subsequent years were never discussed. Disrupting the final accounts in the interest at whom? One of the most important reasons for misallocating financial resources between ministries and government institutions, and a dangerous outlet for financial corruption and wasting the possibility in Iraq, is the failure of the federal ministry of Finance to submit the final accounts to the Office of Financial Supervision for the purpose of auditing to present them to the House of Representatives within the specified timelines. Although the government was obligated in its government program, the Financial Supervision Bureau, to start submitting the final accounts in 2019, the Financial Committee in the House of Representatives made it clear recently that the problem of final accounts is still pending at the 2014 budget, and the Oversight Bureau of Finance does not have law approved to complete its final accounts, it alleged. In an official letter submitted by the Financial Supervision Bureau to the House of Representatives on August 12th of 2019, the book paragraph 2 indicated that the Federal Ministry of Finance did not submit its final accounts for the years of 2015 through 2018 to the Financial Supervision Bureau for the purpose of auditing. That is a clear violation of applicable law and a clear default by the Ministry of Finance, and also indicates the weakness of Prime Minister in obligating to the ministry to implement the instructions and laws fulfilled to the government program. Remember, government program is the period after the rate change, which confirmed in its fourth axis by submitting final accounts for the past years to the House of Representatives for the purpose of auditing and approval. The fact that Iraq continues to approve a huge financial budgets without reviewing the final accounts of the previous years to monitor actual spending on the scheme to ensure the accuracy of the implementation of the federal budget law increases the weaknesses of ministries and government institutions in allocating financial resources in Iraq and contributes to exacerbating corruption rates and protecting spoilers from accountability and punishment. The continuing conflict between the blocs and political blocs or political parties and the disruption of the approval of the federal budget in the specified dates is a serious constraint for the Constitution and reconstruction projects, and also threatens prospects for growth and economic stability. So they told you right there that it's actually hindering reconstruction projects, guys. They're telling you that reconstruction projects are contingent upon the 2020 budget. But as you know, what I've proved to you all through the year of 19, reconstruction is actually pending and waiting on the rate change. But if they just told you here that the reconstruction is waiting on the 2020 budget, they're also telling you that the 2020 budget is kind of a domino effect. They're also telling you that the 2020 budget is also waiting on the rate change, okay? And as you guys see here, they talked about, they're telling you, they're telling you that they're blaming it on the government for the overall delay in the budget approval. There is no delay in this, guys. You know very clearly that the budget is very clearly waiting on the rate change. That's why they're now utilizing a temporary budget, because they've never used one before in the 11 years I've been in this. So they're very clearly telling you here that they're transitioning to a brand new fiscal year. Okay, we have more news. Let's look at it. Let's see what we have. Okay, that's the end of that. All right, guys, this one is actually very important, and I want to stress why. I don't think one guru has caught this and has actually realized how significant this is. I have not seen one guru touch on this. This article is from yesterday, the 21st. Planning announces the launch of the 5-year plan from 2020 through 2024 to support the implementation of the population census in Iraq. Guys, this would be the same significance as the temporary budget. They've never done a temporary budget in the 11 years I've been in this. They've also never performed a census in Iraq for the 11 years I've been in this. The census is very critical because what they're doing is they're taking a physical count of how many people. It's like the census that they do here in the United States. You know, they count what the populations are in the various provinces or areas of the country. They get a full physical count and tally of how many people there are in certain areas, so they can correctly budget money for those areas. That's what they're doing here. But again, this is specific to the 2020 budget, guys. And they've never done once performed or completed a census in the 10 years I've been in this. And now they're telling you that they need to do it, okay? So, and notice how they say they're performing the census, okay, for the 5-year plan from the years of 2020 through 2024. Okay, we can read the article. Minister of Planning announced on Thursday the launch of the 5-year plan 20 to 2024 to support the implementation of the census in Iraq. The 5-year plan, country program 2020 through 24 of the United Nations Population Fund was launched, indicating its importance promoting population action in accordance with the priorities developed with all partners in the public and private sector, United Nations programs, and the international community. He emphasized that the new country program is in line with national priorities in the National Development Plan of 18 through 22, sectoral strategies, and Iraq's vision of the Sustainable Development Goals 2030, and the UNFPA strategy of 18 through 21. He pointed out all partners cooperated with the United Nations Population Fund to achieve the outputs of the country program in providing accurate statistical data and supporting the implementation of the 2020 census in all stages, supporting reproductive and sexual health programs and family planning, contributing to the development of public health systems. See, guys, they're even showing you right here. They're talking about stuff that they don't even have in place right now. Okay, notice how they're focusing on supporting reproductive, sexual health programs and family planning and contributing to the development of the public health system. Guys, that right there is part of the reforms. They have none of this is in place. So notice how this all aligns, or all of this comes into play through for funding of the various areas through doing the 2020 census. Okay, you can see how significant this is. So, anyways, just more proof that these are post rate change requirement steps. That's why they're just pending right now. All right, now I've got more news for you guys, and actually, this one I'm calling dates. This one has to do with dates. Okay, I've brought forth. I'm showing you how there's key dates here for a specific period of time. Okay. First one, as you guys know, I'm not going to go great into this because you guys have seen this article 100 times. But as you guys know, this article is where Iraq just simply shows you they're implementing a temporary budget. Because they're implementing a temporary budget, okay, that red part, that's the part that just told you the reforms are within the 2020 budget. Okay, because they've implemented a temporary budget, that's why they've also told us in a good handful of articles that they can only delete the zeros, meaning change the rate at the beginning of a fiscal year, okay? And because they've notice how I just showed you factually earlier in this video that the Iraq that they can only hold on here, I'm drawing a blank. They can only because their budget years and fiscal years typically have always since they've been under the Chapter 7 sanctions, have always gone January through December, okay? So, but notice how prior to them being under the Chapter 7 sanctions, their fiscal years were exactly where Kuwait's are, April through March, okay? And we've proven that to you factually. Now, so here they're delaying the budget, and not only have they delayed the budget, they implemented a temporary budget that factually proves and confirms to us they're transitioning to a new fiscal year, because otherwise, if their fiscal year was January through December, that factually proves they would not need a temporary budget, okay? So here we go. It says here they can only change that rate at the beginning of a fiscal year, guys. This is where we're going to start looking at some key dates here. So as you guys know, we have some newbies, so I'm going to explain this. This little picture right here, guys, that I've highlighted for you, okay? That's the cover art for my YouTube channel. What that is, that was a prophetic word from my sister to me. I've had that there since I started my YouTube channel. My sister prophesied to me. Again, this was from God. This was God's message directly to me through my older sister, who's very strong in the prophetic. And she prophesied to me that this was back on, she did this to me, or she shared this with me back on Christmas Day of 2014, that the rate would change somewhere close to March 17th. No year was revealed. Again, just somewhere around March 17th. Okay, so we have March 17th. Now, Here's another article for you. Okay, this article is from last year, okay, but again, March 20th. So I gave you my prophetic word on March 17th. This one's from March 20th of last year. Forget about the year, though, just March. So we have March 17th, March 20th. This is where Parliament came out and stated, it's actually kind of more, well, okay, so Parliament came out stating that they need to raise the price of the dinar to maintain stability and curb inflation, okay? So, hold on here. Just trying to find where okay. So what they're doing is they're aimed at raising the dinar exchange rate to curb inflation right there in the highlighted blue for you, okay? We don't need to get into the whole article. So there's that. And then there's one more here for you. They said pointing out that we'll raise the exchange rate of the Iraq dinar against foreign currencies while maintaining and curbing inflation. Okay. So again, guys, this is huge, and that came out on March 20th. Okay. So we have March 17th, we have March 20th last year where Iraq said they needed to increase the exchange rate of the dinar. Now, one of the things I've stressed to you since last year is that keep your eyes on Kuwait, because Iraq is walking in Kuwait's footsteps right now on every level. Okay? So we have March 17th for my prophetic word. We have March 20th. We have March 20th where they came out announcing to us last year they needed to increase the exchange rate of the Iraq dinar. Now, this article is dated March 25th because it was released on a Monday of 91. I'm trying to highlight the date for it. Anyway, that's good enough. But Kuwait's revaluation or reinstatement actually took place on Sunday, March 24th of 91. Okay, so I just want to stress that to you. This is just the date of the article. It was released on a Monday. But again, Kuwait's reinstatement took place on Sunday, March 24th. Okay. So this is just the whole Kuwait currency reinstatement. You guys have seen this a million times. Now, guys, here's an article from the February 19th, just a few days ago. And in this article is actually kind of a big deal. Let's get into this. Let's look at it. It says the registration, again, this one's from February 19th, but right here talks about March 30th. So far we've had my prophetic word saying somewhere around March 17th. And notice, guys, that's St. Patrick's Day, gold, a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Okay? That was a prophetic word from God to me. Then I showed you March 20th of last year, where that was a Friday, right before the weekend. Hear me carefully. This was right before the weekend of March 21st, 22nd, where on March 20th they came out saying that they need to increase the exchange rate of the Iraq dinar. But again, that was before the weekend of March 21st, 22nd. And right here, and then you saw where Kuwait did their currency reinstatement on March 24th. And here they're telling you that on March 30th, okay, again, it says March 30th, Iraq will be open for business. Okay. Again, so March 30th, Iraq will be open for business. Hope you guys saw those dates carefully. Let's get into this article. It's a great article. So registration now open for the IBBC Spring Conference. February 19th, 2020, 10th day Iraq at the Mansion House. The Spring Conference of 2020. Okay, Iraq open for business March 30th, the Mansion House in London. This could be the year Iraq gets serious about reform and investment. See, right here they're talking about reform and investment, guys. That's both of those are post-rate change. For too long, Iraqi governments have tinkered with reform, post-rate change, but with protests, a growing population, and a new government forming, there is a head of steam demanding change for jobs of young people at this time. In response, the IBBC Spring Conference at the Mansion House is convening the heavyweight players and institutions of finance, energy, governance to articulate what is required for change. All the more important as a high turnout of Iraq ministers and deputies, the UK officials and politicians are expected to attend and contribute to the debate throughout the morning sessions. During the afternoon and interactive serious roundtables addressing University Tech in Iraq, Women's Group, and Special Kurdistan Investment Forum are convening ahead of a reception Evershed Sutherland headquarters for Iraqi businesses, an additional day of hosting by the DIT, BEIS, and British Chambers of Commerce to engage and showcase British services and products of export. Hold on, let me get back up. Okay. For companies operating in Iraq or considering opportunities it offers, this conference is bringing together many key decision makers and drivers of finance opportunity to talk directly with key players. Guys, this whole article has everything to do with post-rate change stuff, okay? It's reform. It mentioned energy, okay? Energy is rebuilding their infrastructure. That's electricity. All of that is post-rate change. And now look at the players in this, guys. BP, Shell, World Bank, Kurdistan Investment Authority, Arab Bankers, Association of Ambassador of Iraq, UK Ambassador, Chevron, JP Morgan. These are key financial players around the world, heavy hitters. These guys aren't just going to Iraq. Because investment within Iraq won't be starting, guys, until after that rate changes. But notice how they said in this, okay, that that Iraq is open for business on March 30th, guys. Look at those dates, okay? Hope you guys saw that. Now, one thing I wanted to stress to you, you might have had some other dinar YouTuber gurus possibly talking about rate changes in February, that kind of thing. What did I show you at the very beginning, or at the beginning, or within this news right here? I showed you Iraq stated the rate has to change at the beginning of a fiscal year, okay? Follow me carefully on this. What is the one thing I've stressed to you guys through the entire year of 19? This has to align with an accounting period, guys. It's very, and the CBI even came out confirming that. I told you it has to happen during an accounting period. CBI comes out and tells you it can only happen at the beginning of a fiscal year. I've proven to you factually that their fiscal year is transitioning back to where it was before they went under Chapter 7 sanctions, and they're now transitioning back to their preferred fiscal year for their region, April through March, guys. What I'm trying to show you is February has nothing to do with an accounting period. Just wanted to share that. You guys, you need to believe what's right for you. But February has nothing to do. That's why Kuwait did theirs at the end of March, guys. This whole video is my opinion. Should not be used for financial advice. God bless you guys and have a great day. On to the next video.